Breaking news from the village headquarters. Gather around, my people, because the biggest financial debate has unofficially landed at the village GoldBod. Once upon a time, my people, just when Ghanaians thought the economy had finally escaped the ICU units, left the operation theater, and now doing backflips, that we're getting people's lives moving in a positive direction. One big political patriot woke up, sat quietly in his bed, and suddenly felt that something was wrong at GoldBod. And that was how Honorable Afenyo-Markin entered the debate chamber. Brother, who does this? And instead of clapping for Honorable Sammy Gyamfi, the younger CEO at GoldBod, for being part of what he sees as the progressive movement, the Honorable Minority Leader said, "Me, I will not clap for anyone in a political jersey. I will rather criticize, and criticize with facts." Fast forward, my people. Honorable Afenyo-Markin began the debate without a chairman. Brother, who does this? He also called what seemed like over 1,000 press conferences. And the message was simple. According to Honorable Minority Leader, Sammy Gyamfi and GoldBod have cost Ghana a huge loss of 22 billion Ghana Cedis since 2025. Brother, who does this?
Yo, me bao, wait there. Sir, 22 billion losses here. Almost GoldBod aboki. And then who bill? As a campaign, I had the baby bill.
Hear me well, my people. The message did not end there. He made sure every village could hear the announcement. Because all of us are Ghanaians. And just when everyone thought the message drum was only going to be played once, my people, we got it wrong. The same drum was beaten for weeks in the village. Brother, who does this? In the beginning, Sammy Gyamfi heard the message and responded calmly, which he basically said, "This is how everyone behaves in opposition. So it is normal." Brother, who does this? Until Honorable Afenyo-Markin started the agenda again, this time with emotions, the usual jail terms, and the bailout campaign.
And then who bill? As a campaign, I had the baby bill. Oh, we as I said yet here. Yes, what we are phone, sir. Now, wash your own, sir. We are saying, I want to say to me, bound sim. Nasa would the tata obia.
My people, this is where the battle started cooking with hot spices. Sammy Gyamfi heard the news again and said, "No, today I need to present a government accountability report to every villager in Ghana to know who used the right calculator and to identify the difference between IMF reports and the Auditor General's report." Brother, who does this? Hey, my people, before the villagers could even switch their radios on, Sammy had already walked out in his political suit, with facts in his hands, like a man who called for the meeting himself. Brother, who does this? But somewhere along the line, the village atmosphere changed. Sammy pulled out an old file and said, "It is an insult for someone who once served as board chairman of ECG and recorded a huge loss of $8.2 billion, still be chasing a competent, innocent young man like me around with jail and bail terms." Brother, who does this?
Is this? If the one under whose tenure as board chairman as ECG, where ECG recorded a loss of 8.2 billion, is not facing any onerous bail terms, then how can Sammy Gyamfi?
Hey, my people, even at this point, the gods became confused. They looked at each other and said, "Wait, which meeting are we?" Brother, who does this? Sammy also threw a question at Afenyo-Markin. "If you say GoldBod had made huge losses under my watch, then where is your proof?" Meanwhile, Sammy also argued that under his watch, Ghana has recorded a huge revenue figures with over $17 billion compared to the famous gold for oil program. Brother, who does this? I beg, begin the share. I be too much.
And how can Sammy Gyamfi, under whose tenure the GoldBod has exported 170 tons of gold through former channels and brought into this country over 17 billion United States dollars?
My people, Sammy opened another chapter and said, in his new office at GoldBod, they had already refined over 9 tons of gold bars to increase their values.
Today, over 9 metric tons just this year of gold we have bought, refined in Ghana. We are changing the value addition story.
Then quickly, my people, he turned the question around. How many barrels of oil have you refined in the past 8 years? If not for collapsing the oil chambers at store, brother. My people, at this point, the village meeting became so quiet. Even the flies stopped moving around to reduce their noise. Brother, who does this? And while everyone was sitting there murmuring, my people, the debate entered another atmosphere that triggered Honorable Kennedy Japan to start pressing Honorable Sammy Gyamfi. Brother, who does this?
And then, my boy Sammy Gyamfi Abasu, the way he argued, when Ghana ba, me Ghana ba, I know a lot, and therefore, about 90% of the summer occasion are correct. And the way he started it, it was so fantastic.
Yeah.
Me need a number, but I tell you today, who said that is the first time in my life as a politician in Ghana here, who said opposition were argue ye.
But my people, some two questions were raised. One elder stood up and asked, my people, but which audit report is the minority leader using? Then boom, another elder answered in disbelief. I think he is using the 2017-2024 audit report. Then another village uncle stood up and adjusted his spectacle and asked one serious question. Which calculator did Afenyo-Markin use to arrive at these figures? Did he use an abattoir calculator, a scientific calculator, or an opposition calculator that adds problems and subtracts achievements? And before everyone could finish clapping, Sammy Gyamfi had already sent another powerful shot at Afenyo-Markin and said, I will live in jail in your brains and pay onerous bail terms if you keep using the village statistic calculator.
I will go to prison in his brain, and I will have onerous bail terms in his brain. I'm not afraid of any intimidating tactics because we are serving Ghana in good conscience.
At this point, the village mathematics teacher has already disappeared. He said the calculation had gone beyond his syllabus. Brother, who does this? My people, as it stands, even your village reporter knows that the debate is now bigger than the village's mathematical standards. So we might have to move the next chapter to Parliament for more clarity. And from there, we will also open the reclamation file taking place at Samra Boy. Because at the end of the day, my people, we need to put the figures on the table and find out who actually made more losses during their tenure before the terms of the people decide who deserves the next political power. Because this time, political powers cannot be won simply by shouting louder, throwing accusations, and feeding the public with lies and misinformation. This time, my people, social media has become the VAR, replaying every statement, checking every figure, while investigating every accusation, and every politician can be called back to the screen. Get around, my people, moral lesson don't drop. When politics becomes a battle of figures, don't follow the loudest voice, follow the evidence. Because in the new political village, your microphones may deceive the crowd, but the calculator and the facts may expose you. Brother, who does this? This is your village reporter, reporting nonsense with sense. I beg, check the bio. Click on the link. It takes you to YouTube. I beg, subscribe to my channel. Who does this? About.